Why do you hate me? Why are we here just to suffer? Yawn.
Have we started yet?
Yeah, we just did.
Oh,
One of the first literally one of the first things to be heard is, "Did we start?"
yeah. You're welcome.
Listen, I started it like the old way because I completely forgot to write an opening. It's the podcast where we go through our backlogs.
You telling me this
We're
show has
here.
a script?
I do a different script every time as a joke, and I forgot
I forgot
to.
my lines.
No, it's me. It's I do the opening
Could
monologue.
could you send me my transcript in the post, like you usually do?
Like I usually do.
Yeah, I don't know my lines.
It's 300 pages.
Oh,
That's fine.
8-point font.
8-point not even MLA format.
No.
Jeez.
Not even MLA format. There's no double
The-
spacing.
the
In
on-
fact, no spaces at all.
The only formatting I did on it is I hit tab when a new paragraph started. Other than that, there's nothing.
You didn't even indent?
No, why would I do that?
Oh,
There's no headers. There's no page breaks. There's no chapters. There's not even any links
Also,
at the top.
nobody else's lines included, so I don't know when my cues are.
Yeah, everyone has a 300-page
you
script.
just gotta guess when it's your turn.
We
Yeah, you can
we
guess. That's how
We
we
get-
interrupt each other.
yeah we get the Oblivion treatment where all our lines are arranged in alphabetical order with no
Oh my!
context.
My favorite bit with Oblivion is that there is genuinely some fuck ups where they didn't cut out lines that were bad. Like that one lady who, after speaking a line, goes, "Hold on, let me do that again," and then says the whole line again.
All right. I'm off. I threw myself off my game. Welcome to Collected Dust podcast, where we go through our video game backlogs. Then there would be a joke about who each one of us are. I forgot to write them. Aha!
That's the joke.
That's the joke. We're no one. We're nobodies.
Oh, we're from
I mean,
Kingdom
that's true.
Hearts.
What?
Oh. Where's
Have
the
you been
little
playing
slime
that
dudes?
recently or something? That's like the second time you've referenced Kingdom Hearts.
Is it?
No one just
Well, like,
references
today.
Kingdom Hearts today.
I've referenced it twice today?
Yeah.
No, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game in my entire life.
You've never wanted to play Final Fantasy with Disney characters?
It's not that.
It's what it is. Cloud
It's-
isn't
it-
one of them.
Yeah,
Isn't Sephiroth?
Yeah,
in
Cloud
it?
Strife is there. It's Final Fantasy. Smash Bros. It's Final Fantasy.
I'm pretty sure it's a Disney game with Final Fantasy characters.
it's a Disney game with Disney characters, and occasionally, because Square Enix is making it, they get approval to put a Final Fantasy character in there.
Like Cloud.
The only thing I know about that is when I've only watched two things covering that series. One, with the newest one, I think. What's the name of that YouTuber? Fuck. Yeah. Anyway, I watched a video about it for Kingdom Hearts 3 for babies or something like that.
Oh yeah, Super Butterbuns.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, I watched that. And then I also watched a bunch of reactions like 10 years ago when the last character for Smash Ultimate was revealed, and it was main character. And people lost their mind.
Hi, my name's Sora.
Gonna Sora into your mom's room.
Got obnoxiously sized shoes.
He's not gonna in the next game.
What?
I bet they're gonna go back on that. There's gonna be a flashback where they explain.
He's
their
gonna
big
have at
shoes.
least 3 belts and giant shoes. It's rural.
No, because at the end of the last one, because I watched. Oh, who did I watch play it? I don't know. I watched somebody play it. At the end of the last one, he wakes up in the real world, and he's got like regular sneakers on.
Yes, but what if the next game's not in the real world? What if that was just a reveal? Like, oh my god, that's not the real world. This is. And now
Wait,
the next
so
thing is
him
just,
being on that island wasn't the real world?
No.
What's going on? I zoned out.
we're still talking about the games.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still talking about Final Fantasy
Kingdom Hearts.
Mickey Mouse.
and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, we're still talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Man, I know I know less than zero about Kingdom Hearts.
Who was the final character in Smash Ultimate? Final DLC character.
Well, that's Final Fantasy character.
No, it's not. It's
It
you're
was
wrong.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
That's
then
the only
there's
thing I
a
know.
thing.
Is
You know
Sora.
more than zero. Good job.
You've
done it.
From Minecraft.
I know a thing about Smash Bros. That happens to coincide with Kingdom Hearts.
That
That's
is
about it.
still a thing.
Other than like that, I don't really know anything about Kingdom Hearts. I remember when the games came out, they had a bunch of promo stuff about like the Keyblades, but that's about it.
Yes, keyblades are the weapons sometimes.
Although very few of them are even remotely blade-like, so
Yeah, they're mostly just
Or- yeah,
keys.
they're also not necessarily keys anymore. As like, what locks would they fit in? So
the lock in your heart.
I don't have one of those.
They open Kingdom Heart.
It's
It's
that
like that's the thing they do.
it's that cringe
It's-
Facebook meme about about someone not being able to find who they're supposed to be with because they're quote unquote different, and that's bad. And to make the point even stronger, the mom and dad is just a puzzle piece that fit together perfectly, and that kid is like a monstrosity of a very specific shape.
What was that like weird thing I remember? It's like the shapes and the, like.
What?
So they were like different shapes that fit into one another. Some of them were tubes, others were holes, effectively
Whoa.
like donuts.
I mean,
there was
that's all
one
we
where it was
really
like-
are is tubes and holes.
When there was like it wasn't just one of those like cringe find who you're meant for Facebook memes. It was also like transphobic because they also had like people who were like tubes trying to use like tools to like make a hole through the center, and like holes that were just like filling themselves in. And so it's like it wasn't just cringe on the basis of being a cringe Facebook meme. It was also transphobic.
So you know what's really funny about that cringe Facebook meme I brought up? It's a thing where just like a bunch of sayings, people to prove a point only share the first half.
Yeah.
The part I explained is like the first 2 of 3 panels, and the third one is, you know, the point is supposed to be sometimes it takes a couple pieces to quote unquote make you whole. So like a very small part ends up being filled, but it's like supposed to be like an animal. It's like a dog that matches part of his, you know, shape, you know. It's like some
Yeah.
people just can't like, but they cut the animal part out and they're just like, you're different, you're bad. Fuck you, kid. I'm 50 years old. I took a selfie with my sunglasses in my truck. I'm gonna share this meme now.
My truck just hasn't found the right woman yet.
My damn.
That's why it's got truck nuts.
Oh, no. Truck nuts.
Oh, God.
No.
Truck nuts are proof that gender is a social construct because they gender their trucks.
I gender my cars.
Oh, I can see my name now.
You know, if you wanted to talk about like things where people cut off like
Spell that?
parts of phrases in order to bend it to their own meaning, the
Oh, you
number
did. Good
one
job.
phrase like that I can think of is blood is thicker than water.
Yeah, that's a famous one.
They have chopped that one to pieces.
The other one is the customer's always right. The second part of that is in matter of taste. It's supposed to be
Yep.
the customer's allowed to buy whatever they want. Don't you as the employee don't judge what they buy. But people cut that part off to be like, no, I'm right. You have to do what I say. I'm correct. Make the coupon that's 3 years expired work. Make the coupon that I cut from a different store's magazine work. Customer's always right.
You know, I had back when I worked at a gas station, I had someone get mad at me for not using their gas rewards that were for a different company.
Yeah. There was a Hispanic family when I worked at Safeway. They never went to because I was a lot younger, so I took my job too seriously. And so they'd come through and they'd be like, hand me this giant stack of coupons. And like, there'd be like altogether 3 coupons, and there's 30 of each coupon.
Oh,
It's like,
You'd have to enter those in manually.
no,
one by
like
one.
most coupons say you can't use more than 3 of these.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that too.
and they're like, I have 15 of them.
Damn.
So yeah, eventually they stopped going through my line because they kept doing it. They're like, no, we're not going with his line. Doesn't let us get away with that shit. Now,
Hey,
honestly, I don't
on
give
the
a
one
shit.
side,
I don't fuck.
well, on one side, that means you have less work.
I mean, you say that, but this was like the type of Hispanic family where the only people who could speak English were 6 or under.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
talking
know-
to the kids, and they're trying to explain to their parents. So it honestly, it would have been easier just to like shove them in one corner and be like, "Yeah, I'll give you a discount. Listen, I can't enter these, but I can make this work. It's fine. It's fine. I should like that's what I would do now. Most stores when you work there, they're like, imagine every day you have a free $20 and you can use that through the day to make the customers happy. Right? That would be a thing where it's like, if you leave me alone, I'll give you $20 off right now. Just leave me alone.
It makes me think of that I'll pay you $100 to fuck off thing.
Exactly. But that was the rule we were given. It's like every day you come in, you have imaginary dollars. If it's something small and it's only a couple dollars, just let them fucking have it. Just get them through the door. And yeah, now I'd be like, I'm willing to spend this on you. I will give you $20 off if you let me throw all these coupons away, and we just act like this never happened. Is that I'm sure a worse deal because with these 30 coupons, your laundry detergent would have been 2 cents? Yes. And see, that's the other thing is like it was a mix of 2 things. It was I have 15 coupons when they say you can only use 2, but also you know how that's for a can or a glass jar of like spaghetti sauce. I have
Yeah.
brought you 15 cans of spaghetti sauce. So it's like,
Ugh.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I would just be like, oh, listen, I'll just make this go away. Just leave on, just go away. Yeah. It was all those problems together. And then there was the old man who just called me ugly every day. He was cool.
Oh.
I miss him. He's
Oh,
probably
is he
like
the
my
guy who
mom.
had his name changed?
Yeah, he legally changed his
Yeah.
name to James Bond. And every single day he'd come up to me and goes, and he would say, you know, I have a nephew who's almost as ugly as you are. He'd call me and his nephew old.
Damn.
He calls us both ugly. But he was funny. He meant it in a nice way. He was very fun. Cool guy. If he's still alive, I hope he's doing good. I like James Bond.
You know, say James Bond is my best wishes.
He very much had the old man jokes like that. Where it's like, if it was just, wow, you're ugly, it'd be mean. But it's the fact that he's also calling his family members ugly is very funny. Because then he'd look at you with the dumbest look on his face, like, huh? Huh? I'm 90 years old. You should laugh. What a simple man. Wife dies. That was great. I don't need to get remarried. But now I'm free again. I am James Bond now. It's time to enter a new version of my life. Wifeless, but I'm a James Bond. And I can now pull out my license and be like, yo, I'm James Bond.
My name's Bond.
And
James Bond.
he
All
had
the Bond units.
he was the type of old person where he had nothing better to do, so he'd come to the store every day, and he'd just get enough for lunch and dinner. He had nothing else to do, so he'll slowly walk on down to the store, walk on back home with his groceries for the day. Tomorrow he's got a big day. Go back to the Safeway. Call Dusty Ugly. Go back home.
You know, you were probably like he probably thought of you as a great friend at that point.
I honestly, the way I talk about him, I kind of think of him as that way too. There were a lot of mean old people, and he was just cool. I loved. I would always hear him in the aisles talking to someone, and he'd be like, "Guess what my name is? Guess what my name is?" And he kept his license in his. He would always wear like button up shirts, kind of like my grandpa always would. And he has that pocket where my grandpa would keep like his cigarettes or his can of Skull. He kept his license right there, so he could whip it out, and be like, "Check it out, my name." Anyway, I've been talking about an old man at a store I worked at 10 years ago.
We got a little distracted.
Sora. That guy.
That's not even topical.
Yeah, I was gonna
anymore.
say that is
Oh.
completely off the
I
that was
know.
just a topic we got into.
Don't,
Unless you have news relating to Kingdom Hearts.
don't call Pikachu at 3 a.m.
Or do, I guess.
Let's get to the
If you
news.
want to take a Pikachu.
Let's get to the news. All right, I'm in my work notes.
I don't got any news. I spent my head
I
in the
don't do
ground.
news like that.
Yeah,
We don't. Yeah.
If you have news that you really want to talk about, send it to me, and I'll put it in my list, and I'll do some research.
That's
on
what
it.
I did.
Yeah. All right.
I'm a
News
good
item
noodle.
number 1. I'm putting this one up first because this is this one Fancy reached out and was like, "Yo, we should talk about this." So this is probably going to be our longest conversation on news.
Oh, thanks, lad.
No, I think
Yeah,
it's,
you're
I think
welcome.
it's
I'm really-
interesting. It's interesting and kind of sad, and So
Yeah.
let's read my note. I get to read my own writing. This is gonna be great.
I
looks-
can help you.
Looks like EA is taking BioWare out to the gravel pit. That's what I.
Oh no.
EA confirms Dragon Age missed its sales target by 50%, only selling 1.5 million copies. The second and third game both sold a lot closer to. No, it's 150 million. Game 2
Big
and
number
Inquisition.
difference.
Yes, Game 2 and Inquisition both sold 200 million, and they wanted Veilguard to hit 300 million, which I think is a little steep, but I've heard way worse. Like, we think this game will reach this. It seems like they thought Dragon Age would be a lot bigger than it might have been, but for it to undersell compared to 2 and Inquisition shows that something happened.
I think with Veilguard didn't really appeal to its core fan base in terms of the fact that it isn't really the same type of game.
Yes.
And it didn't really appeal to new players either. Because
it appealed to me.
I think that it was an okay game. Where I stand on Veilguard is I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's a great game, but it's not it's definitely a 6 out of 10. I think the character writing is fine. I think that the writing part of it was definitely probably a little rushed, but admittedly the game isn't bad because of it. It doesn't do anything offensively bad.
Yeah.
But being inoffensive,
Unless if you hate
might.
woke.
I mean,
I think
being inoffensive, huh?
I think that generally it being a fairly forward-thinking game, by a company that has historically been fairly forward-thinking, obviously reduced its chances of sale outside its original core audience, And then because the gameplay was so different, it just didn't appeal to its core audience.
Yeah, I think that what I would say is that like if Veilguard was the second game in the series, I actually think it would end up being better off. But since it's the fifth game or the fourth game in the series, is it? Yeah, it's the fourth game.
I was gonna say,
It's the fourth game in the series.
what's
It's like
after
the
Inquisition?
yeah, my bad. My brain shit itself a little bit. But since it's the fourth game in the series, it's actually doing a lot worse about that than you'd think. Because people loved Origins, people didn't like Dragon Age 2 that much. Inquisition was somewhat liked.
Yeah, that's the funny thing
Dragon
for
Age
me.
is one of those series that everybody kind of says like after every game is dead. But this time it's actually like underperformed.
I genuinely think that everyone's PTSD from Inquisition is part of what affected the sales of this game.
Admittedly, all the time gating and boring ass side quests in Inquisition were definitely a problem.
Love
The game was a collectathon CRPG.
the
And there's a
most
reason that there aren't any other collectathon CRPGs.
the most fun we had playing Inquisition was that weird like mission-based two-player mode thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that much fun, to be honest.
Oh, is this Resident Evil 6 where it's better with friends because you can just look around and pointing at things going, why the fuck is that like that?
No, but it was like I think the most fun I had with Inquisition was when it first came out, honestly. Once the new paint kind of fizzled out, then like, and there were other games that looked as good as Inquisition. Because it's worth pointing out, Inquisition was one of the first games to come out that year that actually looked that good. Like the Inquisition was among the beginning of graphics being really fucking good. So when that new paint kind of dries off, then it starts to feel a lot worse than it actually was. As well as whenever I started to actually try to optimize builds and make builds that were fun to play, I started to realize that wasn't really a thing. The return to the roots of letting you actually choose your race and making classes a little bit more interesting were nice, but classes ended up being more boring than in 2, and the racial options had less weight than in Origins. So Veilguard's a victim of this too, but at least Veilguard, the combat's somewhat interesting.
You didn't let him finish the rest of the news.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I expected this. That's why I put this at the front because many people on this podcast have things to say about a game that they played. So I put this at the front for a reason. Ideally, we'll get through these faster and faster as we go. I have them.
No,
kind of
I
in
meant
order.
the other part of that news specifically.
Oh yeah, I know, but that's why this is at the front because I knew conversations would be happening. So yeah, that's
Okay.
part 1 of like 10. Then,
Okay.
as you know, Karen Bush announced that she was leaving the team after helping get the game across the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's looking like maybe because she was more like out in the community talked about the game, they gave her like, hey, if you want to go before we fire a bunch of people and make it look like you're going on your own, you should probably take that opportunity. Because we're about to lay them.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking shitty. They're not even learning anything.
Yeah,
The layoffs are part of the reason Veilguard was kind of bad for performance.
Yeah, we have seen layoffs from BioWare, people, many of them having been there 15, 20 years.
They're laying off people who worked on actually successful games.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That's what this thing tells us though, is so many people have worked there so long where it's like maybe BioWare like never died. Like there's so many people who were working there for 20 years. And it's like a bunch of the old BioWare was still there.
It turns out, as far as from what I've read, it's like the people who were there the longest were people who were working on Andromeda and Inquisition.
Okay.
We don't have the original Dragon Age 2 team and the Dragon Age Origins team, which are the people who were in the Mass Effect 1 and 2 teams. Those teams were the games that were really the most successful.
Yeah.
All of the most successful of BioWare was gone pretty much a long time ago.
So yeah,
They've been gone for 15 years.
They at first it started with Hey, we're done with this game. A bunch of people like Kieran came on. We're gonna just move them to other things now, right? Like we're deep in development of Mass Effect 4, but we don't need to really like rush it yet. So we're just gonna send some people out we don't need, and then after that, after the moving done was finished, then they started firing a bunch of people. And for about a week, we were like, how many people work at BioWare? And then one, Jason Schreier. I don't know if you know who Jason Schreier is, but Jason Schreier is
I've heard the name.
my boy. Um, he's a writer at Bloomberg. He's like the main video game guy there, and he has all the industry ties. People just talk to him. So yeah, he was the one that was like, yeah, I'm in talks with people. They have less than 100 people there now.
That's
Oh,
foul.
And for the first time in decades, they're only working on one game, and that is Mass Effect 4. So this is their game. If this shit does not work,
It's not going to. They've already fired like half their talent.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's like they never learned. Do you know the reason FromSoft always makes good games? Oh, like almost always FromSoft games are good. Is because the people who were working on Elden Ring were the same people that were working on Dark Souls 3. And they're the same people who were working on Dark Souls 2 for the most part. Dark Souls 2 is a special case.
Yeah, I was gonna
Dark
say.
Souls 1, from what I remember, also like has pretty much the same team. They don't
Yeah.
lay people off when games underperform. And let me tell you, Dark Souls was not popular when their first games were coming out. Demon Souls and Kingsfield were not popular games. And they made I think 4 Kingsfield before Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Although we got them in a weird order here in America, so
Yeah. So it's like they had like commercially 4 failures in a row, 5 if you count Demon Souls, because Demon Souls didn't perform that well, and then 1 breakout success, all with the same team.
Yeah.
From what I understand about FromSoft.
Yeah.
It's like we kind of expect experienced people who know and love the job and have time to communicate and make friends around with the people that they work with, and have the chance to get these ideas that they like to some form of light. They're gonna do well,
yeah.
especially if they have a concrete idea going in and out of it. Which is why I think EA sucks so much, is because they keep from what I understand with Veilguard, they were kind of kicking the ball back and forth on whether it was going to be live service or single player.
Yeah, and it seems like from what I've heard, they at the end there they were really leaning into the multiplayer thing until Kieran came in.
Yeah, and saved the game by making it single player.
It was a
I
weird
think if
multiplayer thing.
If it was multiplayer or live service, I feel like the game would have ended up having no players rather than a few players. You know what I mean?
You know-
Concord Part 2.
Concord Part 2, yeah, exactly.
Oh, you just reminded me of a thing.
What?
I'm not gonna say it yet because I don't know if it's in Dusty's news.
Text it to me.
Okay.
Literally during this conversation, Fancy texted me and was like, "Do you have this piece of news?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I didn't text you that during. I texted
No,
you that like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, yes, but the conversation mostly happened just now because I looked at my phone and was like, "Oh, I missed a text."
It is funny. This conversation is actually, when you started bringing it up, was like, oh yeah, I could have had that as the news. Good thing Dusty brought it first.
Yeah. Yeah, so if BioWare survives, it's going to be by the skin
Only
of their
Dusty
fucking
look
teeth.
at that because I just sent it to the whole boys on accident.
You could have just.
Don't
DM'd
worry
the
about it.
phone.
Yeah, look. My phone was right there. You guys were right there. Just don't look.
The
Okay,
death of
fine.
BioWare will be is sad. Like BioWare basically going under is very sad. But I'm gonna be honest, the BioWare that I loved as a kid is just not around anymore. They haven't been around for 20 years.
I only recently got into that company, and I think it's funny that only in the last 10-15 years, the only like true success was Inquisition sold the same amount as the game before it in the same franchise. So it was like, it at least survived. And then
it appealed
after
to the
that,
fan base that was still there.
yeah, and then after that, I think Mass Effect 3 might have come after that, and that had some problems, or maybe those were flipped. Either way, there was like
No, it was 3 and then
it was 3 then Inquisition. So
Inquisition.
either way, it was like All these good games. Oh,
And then it
Mass
was
Effect 3 didn't
Andromeda.
end good. Oh, Dragon Age Inquisition. And then
Dragon
just
Age. So I learned something actually about Dragon Age Inquisition about part of the reason that it kind of underperformed when you talk about Dragon Age or Origins of Dragon Age 2.
yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition's true ending is locked behind DLC.
Oh,
You have to buy a DLC if you want the true ending,
that's dumb.
apparently.
I hate it when they
That's
do
worse
that.
Exactly.
than a horse armor.
Yeah, that is actually worse than horse armor. That is a thing that people have been talking about on the Reddit, is that like Inquisition was at least kind of appealed to the core fan base, but also had its own big issues.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had this big, like, for many, many years, like a good decade or more of, like, good game, good game, good game. Then right at the peak, they're like, ooh, Mass Effect 3 and Inquisition, these are, ooh.
And Andromeda was.
And then Andromeda
great.
comes out, and then Anthem, and then... So, like, in the
It
last...
sucks to me with Anthem, because Anthem was actually fun if it had content.
Yes. I mean, that's even my take. I thought, like, it controlled fine. It was just, it was... The
Everything
fact that they
but the
didn't know,
looting part of it was great.
yeah, the fact that no one
Yeah.
knew what that game was until they saw the CGI trailer at E3 is very funny. They're like, "Oh, that's what
Yeah.
we're making. We have 9 months to do that." Cool.
Yeah, the devs didn't even know, and then it's insane to me how they thought that it was going to go well with that kind of development cycle. But they've always been like that. EA has been doing BioWare like this for the past fucking 20 years. No wonder they can't put out good games.
EA is not a good company, but at the same time, when you look at BioWare, it kind of seems like EA gave BioWare the rope that they hung themselves with. I'm gonna be honest. They gave them 7 years to make Anthem, and again, 9 months before release, they saw a CGI trailer and was like, "Oh, that's what we're making." Like that is BioWare doing that to themselves.
I don't know how much
Well,
of it is between the two of them,
so-
because honestly, I feel like there was probably some communication about what they were supposed to be doing, and then with that trailer being like, "Oh, so we finally have a concrete answer." I feel
Yeah.
like they were being
Well,
wishy-washy.
a big part of it was because I remember when stuff was coming out about the dev cycle for the game, it wasn't just employees like not knowing specifically what they were doing. It was also trying to put something together while also appealing to the whims of the people above them,
Yeah,
because like people from corporate would show up and be like, hey, do you have that cool flying mechanic I was talking about?
yeah, I was gonna say
And they
that's
would
the
quickly
famous
slap
one.
something together and be like, yep, here you go.
Yeah, that was the
Pretty cool,
famous
right?
one where it
It's funny
seemed
'cause
like
the
for
flying was the best thing in the game.
it seemed like for 2 years they were like, "Are we gonna do the Iron Man flying or not?" How like this guy really wants it, but like other people don't. And it was once that trailer came out, I was like, "Well, the answer's been forced upon us now. We're doing it. The flying is a thing. Let's
It's
go."
also
Yeah.
one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, unironically.
So yeah,
I honestly, if they were to like fix some of the issues and actually bring content to the game, I feel like I would actually go back and play it. That's the insane part, is if
Yeah.
they were to like pick Anthem back up and actually give it like new updates, I would play it. I would absolutely play it.
What's funny is I honestly think that might be a better way for BioWare to survive at this point than trying to make whole new games. They might actually be able to
Yeah.
make some money if they just go back to Anthem.
There's a whole subreddit about Anthem where people are like just happy the game is still literally alive, not that it's like doing well.
Yeah.
But like I booted up Anthem just to see what if anything was going on around in there,
Yeah.
and there are definitely people still playing it.
Cool.
So
Yeah. So yeah, if BioWare exists, it's gonna be by the skin of their teeth by seemingly accidentally making a good a good Mass Effect game. And by that I mean this game better, like if for this game EA is like it better sell 300 million copies, it's like that game better sell 800 million copies for BioWare to exist.
Yeah, if it does anything under overachieving,
Yes.
they're gone.
If-
Just like Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed.
If that game doesn't literally make enough money back to cover all the way back to at least Anthem, then they're done. I'm gonna hand the reins over to Wulfryk real quick because I did not have this news. I know nothing about this.
Yay! It's super short news.
This is very funny and slightly concerning, but very funny.
So
What?
you guys remember Concord?
Yeah. What about it?
You know how
Yeah.
there was literally no fucking ads for it at all?
Yeah.
What if I told you Halo Studios, 343 after they renamed themselves to try to get rid of some of the bad PR. What if I
Mhm.
told you they hired the director of Concord?
Oh. Maybe not a good choice.
They hired them.
Hashtag bad.
They hired a few people of the Concord team, including the director of marketing.
The director of marketing. That guy.
The person who
who
was
knows? Maybe he learned
apparently
from his
paid to do
mistakes.
nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing.
No,
Of all of us, I knew the most about Concord before it came out because here's the thing about Concord.
Well,
They didn't do like the normal here's a trailer, put it before YouTube videos and stuff. They
Yeah.
only focus on big picture. If you wanted to see Concord, you had to be watching Jeff Keighley's game shows and shit.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
If-
the first time I saw
If
it.
you weren't watching game shows or like Sony's state of plays and stuff, you never fucking saw that game. It's so crazy that they only focused on, because like the people who watch that are the minority. Like
Yeah.
we are I'm in the group of weird ones who listens to podcasts about reacting to a Konami event, and the fact that that's all they put trailers in front of is like, do you want the game to sell? Normal people need to know this. A 15-year-old should know about this game, and they're just not. They just don't know.
well, and if you get into that further, right? There's also the fact of like this person. It's wild to me that they made that choice because apparently this person they were working in the Call of Duty team for 8 years before doing Concord. And that was the choice they made with marketing.
So they went from the company that was like, I don't care if there's a 10-second video, put an ad in front of it, make sure Ghost says something cool, and say you can pre-order now and get access to the double XP event.
I mean, heck, even a TV ad would have been better than nothing.
Call of Duty does not shut up about its commercials. If it has anything that could be shown via video, they're gonna fucking do it. And then someone from that company's like, I have a great idea. What if we only show it twice at a Jeff Keighley event, and then that's it? And then
What if-
Sony do it
Not
for
really
us?
get their attention.
Makes me think about how I didn't hear anything about Infinity Nikki until literally the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Well, and like that's the thing. I had heard about Concord, but I didn't even know it came out because nobody
either.
said anything.
Nobody
I-
said shit when that game came out.
I was vaguely
At least
interested in it.
Baldur's Gate 3 didn't have a lot of advertising before, while it was in early access. But whenever it was actually about to come out, you couldn't escape Baldur's Gate 3 ads. When it did come out, you couldn't escape BG3 ads. That game was going to do well regardless, honestly. Even without the ads, I think that BG3 would have been a pretty popular game. But with the ads, I'm sure that helped,
Funny enough,
I
another
mean-
reason why I think Concord might have done poorly, because like I said, it was only targeted ads for like gamers who are insane enough to pay attention to every piece of news ever and listen to podcasts about it.
Yeah.
But if you did, where was I going with this? My brain just crashed. Holy shit! My RAM ran out of space. Well, where was I going with? Oh, but for people who are that into that kind of podcast and stuff, like me, 3 months ago we were all mad at another Sony multiplayer thing for doing a shitty thing with PSN. So like I was interested in it, but I was not going to buy it because I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not logging into your multiplayer game. I'm not doing it. The fact that
I played the beta. It was all right.
Yeah, and that's what most people, everyone who played it is like, it was okay. It's just it
It would have done better if it was free.
I agree. It would have done better if it was free, and if characters stuck to the rule of like 3 colors, please, just 3. That's it. That's all you need. I don't need orange with pink with green.
Well, if you think about it, if it did stay out, Marvel Rivals would have came out a couple months later, and then it would still have been dead. So
Kind of. I know, like, that's the thing with Concord. It's such a weird story for a game because, like, again, there was the marketing issue, but on top of that, like, from what I've seen of animations of how things work from the game, and like some of the reload animations they had, like, there was some serious care put into a lot of the design, and then you get to the character designs, and you're like, what?
vacuum robot.
What?
Trash can, let's
Did-
go. I love trash can.
Did you let your children, like, were these characters designed on Bring Your Kid to Work Day? Did you do a community poll for the color palettes?
Legitimately, the main character that like his main defining attribute was he's like a hitman type of guy, but he really likes hot sauce. That I guarantee I could I put money on this that his original color scheme came from their kid had a coloring book for Guardians of the Galaxy, and they saw a fucked up, hilariously colored Yondu, and they were like, "That's our guy. That's our guy."
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
the
that guy, yeah.
overabundance of vibrant colors. I think that also bothers me a lot. Well, the funny thing is some of these characters have designs that I think could work if you like tone down the colors or something.
Also, a lot of them just needed a little better silhouette work. Very confusing silhouettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
every big person or someone in a big jacket looked like every other big person silhouette from far away. You're like, which character is that? Is that the lady in the spacesuit, or is that the big Drax guy? I don't know who's that down
It's
there.
like, you know how like they said the same, they said for like Overwatch, where they were like, if you just showed me a silhouette of any Overwatch character, I'd probably be able to tell you who they were. And the same is also true for, I think, Marvel Rivals. The only time I ever get characters confused is the Invisible Woman and Dagger. That's it.
Oh, which skinny bitch is that?
Yeah, exactly. Which blonde white woman is it? But at least Dagger has cloak.
Yeah.
And also the second one of them starts shooting, you know who they are.
All right. Speaking of Marvel Snap does what my ex did. That's my title.
Uh-oh.
No, this is actually good for Marvel Snap. So if you remember when TikTok went down, it also went down, and right away they were like, we are breaking up with our publisher. We are finding another one. We are getting out of here, and we're going to bring as much as we can internally, so we're doing it ourselves. Right? Because we're at this point, we have had a lot of success, we have a lot of money, and also we have Disney more money backing us. At this point, we can just do that. Well, it only took them a week, and they've already got another one. It was literally like 5 days. They're like, we have a new partner. We've done it. And
you can't expect to win them all.
Exactly. And apparently they are in talks with them on bringing as much internally as possible, and they are doing it. So
that is impressive, though.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people are like, "Are they allowed to do that?" Just imagine any other game being like, "Our fucking publisher sucks. We're leaving. We're taking our game with us." That would cause a lawsuit. But I guarantee it's like, yeah, we did just get taken down in America because of our other apps, and also I don't want to fight with Disney, so you can just go. We'll let you.
Yeah. What game was this again?
Marvel Snap, the card game.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a lot of drama with the TikTok situation, and I feel like a lot of Chinese-owned companies are probably going to be doing similar things if they can.
Well, I mean, they straight up got shut down the same time because
it was the same person or same company.
It was all, we called it the TikTok ban, but it was really like a blanket across a lot of stuff.
I wonder, like, because like the biggest problem ever, like people were bringing up about the whole TikTok ban was the fact that realistically the bill wasn't just obviously it wasn't just TikTok, it was all the ByteDance, but it also would have allowed the U.S. government to just ban any app they want if they believe it to be connected to foreign adversaries, which it
Yeah.
like is super vague. Like because the definition of foreign adversary could genuinely be, let's say, for 5 minutes, like a Mexican cartel guy worked on a game. Does that game now become bannable for 5 minutes? Then apparently, yeah, I guess. But like, also, some games are just some companies are just owned by
Well,
companies that work in other countries.
foreign adversaries is more specifically like a country that we don't like.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to change the number at the top of the episode again. Man, it's been episode
No.
27 for 3 episodes.
It would have been
Shit.
would have been sad though if that bill had completely passed, because I don't know if it did, but like they've been talking about how they're not liking what's the company,
I don't know.
they were
Tencent?
calling Tencent, yeah,
Oh,
Tencent,
10 cent, yeah.
Yeah, 10 cents a military asset.
Yeah.
yeah, which means because like Tencent owns a lot of good games, like League of Legends, they own Warframe.
I would not be
Or they own
surprised if 10 cent went down, I'd lose the finals. That seems like a game that through backdoor. Not really backdoor, but it seems like that's the type of parent company that would
What
be
company
tied with.
makes the finals?
Let me figure this out. The developer is Embark.
Embark. I'm gonna look up who owns Embark.
Typing.
Yeah.
Nexon. Who owns Nexon?
Nexon, like Nexon Mobile?
No, Nexon is
Tokyo.
What?
It says NXC controls 46.2% of Tokyo listed Nexon.
Yes. It is actually
Oh, it's
they are
Korean.
owned by a South Korean company. So the finals is good. At least mostly. It's mostly
I mean,
good.
yeah, at least mostly until unless Korea gets labeled as a foreign adversary.
Nexon,
somehow.
whatever you do, please do not. Arc Raiders is almost here. More multiplayer FPS The Division. Please give it to me. I want that game. The kids yearn for The Division 3.
We'll see
Yeah.
how Assassin's Creed goes, and then
Oh, if Assassin's Creed doesn't do well, then all of Ubisoft is fucked.
I mean, yeah,
This
it's Ubisoft's whole thing is Assassin's Creed.
in the next year, we might lose both all of Ubisoft and BioWare.
Yeah,
That's
it's
insane.
really sad. Well, I'm not so sad about Ubisoft completely.
I'm not Ubisoft the company, but all of the developers under them.
Yeah, the developers I'm sad for, like they and but like Ubisoft as a company is kind of
Yes.
The thing that bothers me is like if they fail, what does that mean for their live service games like For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege? Not to say that they actually do much for those games, but what happens to them?
Yeah, those ones are hard. For the rumors are that they're like, I don't know if you knew this, but a couple months ago they made a bunch of internal companies and
Mhm.
like they split things up very funny sounding. But the internal rumor is each company has IPs under them, so they could to survive. They could be like, okay, sell off this branch that has these IPs.
Okay,
And
so they could end up owned by other companies.
yes. So it sounds like the idea is that they might try to last as long as possible, but slowly just offload everything.
I feel like Rainbow Six Siege is probably gonna be fine.
Yeah, I feel
if
like
that's
Tom
the way they
Clancy
do
is
it.
one of the things. Like anything Tom Clancy,
For Honor might die though.
Yeah,
For Honor's probably completely dead in the water if Ubisoft goes.
Tom.
Not
and-
not the least of which being like I know like there is a niche for it, but as a fighting game that hasn't had any real good support and has had very few good updates in the past years, it's like I don't know. The things that I remember loving about For Honor stopped being available since the last time I played. And there are 2 new heroes, I'm pretty sure. I think 2 or 3. I stopped playing after Ocelot came out. But the thing that bothers me is that like there were very few unique executions that weren't just like magic bullshit that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
Which was part of the thing that I loved a lot about For Honor. The only update I could think of that actually I liked the last time they ever updated the game was making it to where lights had consistent guard instead of the crappy reflex guard they had before. But all of the For Honor community is literally just like complaining about For Honor anymore.
Okay. Next piece of news here. EA wants you to break NDA.
What?
Wait, what?
That's the joke going around. EA wants you to break NDA. EA reveals Battlefield Labs. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
Battlefield Labs, a closed testing environments like the ones developers would use to help test game mechanics, will be set to online, and players under NDA can play and test builds and ideas. The joke about this is that they want you to break that NDA so people can slowly get hyped about all the things they test for the next Battlefield. This is absolutely more of a marketing strategy than actually like anything else.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like if you're accepted into this, the moment this thing goes online, we're gonna see leaks. The moment.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, wow. We got a little trailer with it, and it seems like I'm excited for it because for the first time ever, like they went back to like the finals with destruction. Like we see 3 things happen, and one of those 3 things is guy looks at a building, shoots RPG, the entire building fucking collapses. It's like, yes, we're back. We're not to the point where it's like I have to put in the Konami code into a computer inside of a building with a nuclear arsenal just to see a tornado happen, and then that's how the destruction happens.
I would not be opposed to a new Battlefield.
Oh, they're working on it. That's what Battlefield Labs is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna get leaked, and we're gonna see some cool stuff. Maybe Dead Drop cancels game, studio closes.
What game?
Dead Drop, the studio. Dead Drop studio cancels game, and the studio closes.
What?
Oh, sorry, no. Dead Drop. I got it wrong. I'm an idiot. Dead Drop is the game. Dead Drop canceled. Okay. Studio closes. I'm reading my own writing, and I'm terrible at it. This will tell you. Midnight Society. Development studio once helmed by Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect, has shut its doors, and it's never-ending 1980s NFT FPS extraction shooter is canceled.
NFT. Oh god.
It's good. I'm glad it's canceled.
And with that, we never have to deal with Dr. Disrespect ever again. And now we're on.
Oh, yeah, it's probably for the best.
And now we're going to a new little news segment I'm calling "Small News to Speed Run Through." YouTube re-enables monetization for Dr. Disrespect. God damn it!
God damn it!
Fuck.
Hey, Dusty.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of news. Have you heard about the finals update that everybody's complaining about?
Is something happened with the Valentine's event? What?
Apparently, so people are talking about mediums and heavies got pretty big nerfs, and lights didn't get touched really.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, lights apparently didn't get touched at all. The thing I'm reading here is Winch Claw nerf, DMAT time nerf, CNS nerf, FAMAS nerf, model nerf, cash out jump pad nerf, quick melee combo nerf.
Cash out.
Those are the things that people
How did they
are
nerf
talking
the
about.
claw?
I
It
don't know.
grabs and pulls people. What are you gonna do? Make it pull worse?
Make it shorter or something. Who knows?
They
The
could have
thing
made it shorter.
already is so hard to aim.
I think the weirdest thing to me is FAMAS and model nerfs. The model is the last time I used the model, it's not amazing. It wasn't amazing. It was a good gun. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was winning me fights.
So yeah, back to the speedrunning news. You heard that right. Dr. Disrespect builds an entire game studio, does some pedophilia, and gets away with it, getting his money from Twitch, and now YouTube and the studio that he left behind has to shutter its doors after they make his idea of a game. That's the world
That
we live in.
is so garbage.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sells another 5.4 million copies in 2024.
Huh.
Which brings the total to 67 million copies sold, which is not including the 13 million from the original Wii U launch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Damn.
Just in 2024, it sold another 5.4 million copies. That game does not stop ending. Why are they making another one? Mario Kart 8 Double Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Double Dash. Watch it.
I wonder
Let's
when
go.
Nintendo's gonna realize people like their older games.
Okay, but like, if they brought back the Double Dash format, that would be so fucking cool.
The meme right now is Mario Kart Triple Dash. That's a meme going on right now. It's like, what if they go back to that? But it'd have to be a sequel. They couldn't do Double
Paper
Dash
Mario
again.
Kart.
God. It's just Line Rider. No,
what they need to do is they need to go on like a self-discovery type game where they make the character a lycanthrope of some sort. I'm talking about Sonic, by the way.
Yeah, we don't talk about Sonic.
Was it Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah. We don't talk about that one. That's too many Trump.
I remember the ads for that game. I got them.
Fancy got my reference. Good job.
Yep.
All right, a lot of this news I actually don't think we need to cover, so I'm going to skip to this one.
Yeah.
Nah, cover it all.
No.
Again, this is all speed run through. It's just a lot of this I don't think anyone actually cares about, so I was just going to skip it.
I have to know how you feel about the finals nerfs I ran through.
I need to actually read them and play it. I am not one to read a list of updates and be like, they fucking ruined it. I need to get my hands on that shit.
That's a good point. That's a good point, and I agree with you.
Thank you.
But I will say, not touching.
However, your opinion is wrong.
However, your opinions are wrong. You should.
Yeah, no, right away. The fact that it does with all of those weapons are medium and heavy stuff, or just the map itself, and lights weren't touched when lights are the biggest pain in the ass in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder if they're waiting to do something bigger with lights, though. That could be a possibility.
Maybe it's a season 4 thing. Who knows? Or a season 6 thing.
I worry about like with because like I've experienced this in the finals. Lights are either oppressive or you swat them like flies and they die immediately, and there's no in between. Yeah. I'm either getting absolutely shit on by lights, or they are or like they are getting shit on constantly. They're either 20 and 0 or 0 and 20.
Ubisoft closes another studio, laying off 180 people.
Studio.
Ubisoft Leamington, the creators of DJ Hero. DJ Hero will officially never come back. They also helped with some of the Anno games and the Settlers games, but they're most known for DJ Hero.
That's unfortunate.
I hope those devs can find a place to work.
I really don't want to talk about that one. That one's nothing. Sega launches weird anti-AI service called Brain Tool. What? So I'm going to break this down for you. I'm not even going to read what I wrote down. brain tool, right? So you know how AI works. It's like in your computer is a bunch of people who have been forced to learn things and they can just spit things out at you, right? So let's say if you want to make a game and you have some ideas and you want to ask the computer, hey, is this a good idea? You might be able to train an AI to tell you if it's a good idea or not, and what you will have to do. Ubisoft said, or not Ubisoft, Sega said, okay, but fuck that. We have a bunch of developers. What if we just rent the developers out instead? So instead of making it an AI thing, they're like, pay us enough money and you can have access to this guy who's worked here 20 years. He'll tell you. He'll tell you anything you need to know. Give us a lot of money.
You
He'll
know
tell you if your
what?
idea is a good idea or not.
That is such a funny idea. Like,
That is
rent a developer. It's I could just see it now. Someone needs to draw the Sega logo in like a maid uniform, being like, "You can rent me."
I don't know why when you immediately described this, I immediately thought of Brain Age, which
Brain-
reminded me of
yeah.
that meme of oh dear, your brain age is a little underwhelming.
We're gonna skip that news as well. I'll skip 2 of them.
We need another Brain Age. It'd be funny.
Switch 2 launch date. And last but not least, this is the one that the other one Fancy brought out to me. Bernie Burns, original creator of Rooster Teeth, pulls a smosh and repurchases the IP back. Is already working on a relaunch of the brand with Rooster Teeth Classics. The Twitter and YouTube accounts is already back up, and they have a Patreon already as well.
What's Rooster
Yo.
Teeth make again?
Rooster Teeth did like Red versus Blue.
Oh
And
shit!
Yeah, the
Achievement Hunter. I think?
Achievements Hunter, a lot of stuff like that.
They pulled a smosh.
Mhm.
Hell yeah!
I mostly just missed the Rooster Teeth podcast. I just missed that podcast specifically.
Fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's
the
cool as hell.
news for the day. I had a couple more, but honestly, getting through it, I was like, no one fucking cares about these. It's fine. Okay.
Maybe I care.
Do
Have
you
you
ca-
considered that?
Do you care about the industry wanting you to spend more money on GTA?
I mean, that makes sense. I
Because
don't like it, but
the best thing about that, it was in the speedrunning thing. I'll go through it now because we're already talking about it.
Oh
fucking-
no!
Basically every like industry leader of development studios or publishers are like, we hope if Rockstar comes out and the game is like $80 to $100.
because that sets a new precedent for what they
Yes.
can charge. Yeah.
It does. To which what's my note? What's his name?
It comes out and they make it $30.
Michael
It's like,
Dow's.
damn it, no! It can't be Switch games.
To which on Twitter,
I mean,
Twitter is pretty accurate though.
Michael Dow's, I think I'm saying that right. The
Okay.
head of publishing at Larian said on Twitter, "You're not supposed to say this out loud, guys."
I love Larian.
Yeah.
They're one of the
Okay.
few game studio companies that I think is still kicking it well.
imagine the power move of if they actually like the new GTA comes out and it's $50.
I have to be honest. I don't know if you can tell this or not, but I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
Good.
They come out and it's the price of a Switch game. It's $30.
No, it would be funny though if like the price finally started to actually go down, like
make
we
it a
were
buck
promised
fifty.
with everything switching to digital.
That's not going to happen because of the tariffs. They want
I
they
know.
they want the digital game to be the exact same price as the physical game, and that's going to go up when tariffs. So the game is too.
I know.
The only way you get cheap digital games like on PC is when the physical market dies completely, just like on PC.
Yeah. It's really sad. But I honestly think like to me digital games are less valuable.
I like my
I
shelf
don't
of games.
care.
I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I have a digital PlayStation 5. The only reason I have that is because I bought it during the whole shortage.
Imagine having a.
You
You
had a
used
PS5.
to.
I traded it for
Yeah.
a
When
camera.
you
It
left
was,
us behind.
it was useless to me. I never played it.
Left him behind. We left
This whole
him
plan
behind.
was your idea.
Yeah, it was.
Everyone, all
It
of my
was.
friends, we're on Xbox. Me, well, I have a PS3. Everyone's like, okay, we'll go to PlayStation. Me, see you fucking later. I got a PC. Goodbye.
Yeah,
That's
that's exactly what happened.
Over 10 years, that's what happened. It's like, oh, the PS3. Ooh, the PS4. Oh, I don't want the PS5. And I just disappear.
I'll be honest though, I was gonna get a PS5 anyways because it was backwards compatible with PS4. So, or at least the digital games were.
Yeah, and
I don't know about the
I'll
discs.
probably end up getting one when it's cheaper, because to replace my PS4,
I
because
don't think it's ever going to be cheaper.
Well, I mean,
I don't
like,
think it's
no,
going to be cheaper until the PS6 comes out.
well, no, and that's what I mean for the backwards compatibility. PS4s
Oh.
have a problem where they're all going to be dead one day, just of how they were designed.
You say that before. Would it like? Is it just like on the internet going to be good, dead or?
Yes, so the way it works is,
like,
you know,
for
the
internet
little
stuff, I
watch
mean.
battery, the CMOS battery. When that dies, you replace it, and then it has to reestablish connection with the server. What happens if that
Okay.
server's gone? Answer: PS4 is a brick.
Yeah.
PS5 does not have this problem. They fix that.
Xbox 360 doesn't have this problem. I just use that as a DVD player right
Yeah,
now, though.
yeah. Either does the 3 or the 5. It was just the 4.
Well,
So
not only does the PS3 not have that problem, but if you need the drivers for it, like to update your PS3 if you've had to reset it or anything like that, they're still on Sony's website.
yes.
Yeah.
You can go there
That's
and
actually pretty
download
sick.
them onto a flash drive and just chip
What
it
if-
right into your PS3 and boom, you're good to go.
What if Sony just like when the PS4 is about to like brick, just like turns the servers back on for like 5 minutes so everybody can
Well,
get their PS4s from bricking?
Because it's a battery. They all die at different rates.
Yeah.
You know, I say
That's
one
true.
day they're all going to die, but just like everything else, there's going to be that one PS5 that at one point will have an original 50-year-old battery and it's just not dead yet for some reason. Like that will happen. There's the one that just won't die. But yeah, in general, the PS4 is looking scary, but it's less of a problem when the PS5A doesn't have that problem and is B, backwards compatible with 98.9% of the games. So it's just
The
like,
other-
in 20 years, buy a PS5 when it's $100.
The
There's a
other
problem.
option, because there is another option, and it's something that happened with the original Xbox. I don't know if you know, but people got together and made a service that you can basically trick an original Xbox into thinking Xbox Live is still a thing.
Yeah,
So they could do something like that.
it's possible. I think that's less likely now because of backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
If the people who made that were told by a time traveler for sure, hey, in 20 years, the newest Xbox will be backwards compatible and you won't have to have any of these old consoles, I don't think they would have made it. I think they'd be like, oh, cool. We don't have to deal with this. And that's what the PS4 to 5 is. It's like, yeah, the PS4, it's looking rough. You know, it's going to be like 20 plus years, if that. But one day the servers will be turned off, and then if your CMOS battery dies, you're just screwed. But when the PS5 doesn't have that problem and is backwards compatible, it's not a problem anymore. Just when your battery dies, the PS5 will be worth $80. Buy a PS5. There's your PS4 now. Problem solved. So, yeah, for a minute there, before the PS5 was like, oh no, the PS4. Then the PS5 confirmed backwards compatibility. It's like, okay, that's cool. We're safe, everyone. Destiny 1 will be online forever. I'm kidding.
Damn,
They did update the
Destiny 1 again.
right around Christmas. Destiny 1 did get an update. Nobody's
Really?
quite sure why, but randomly, all the Christmas stuff showed back up in the tower. There wasn't anything to do, but
Shortly after we finished the first episode of this podcast, Dragon Age Origins also got an update.
I wonder if, like, on their end, the Christmas stuff is tied to, like, the actual calendar. So, like, every year it'll happen. Because that's the thing you could do.
yeah,
They might, for some reason, the Christmas one specifically, they're like, hey, that we just, every year that should pop up. But just like other games, slowly things just break. So like you said, eventually it's just, it looks Christmassy, but all the event stuff is just not here. It does nothing to do. But my God, the tree's in the corner. Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh, excuse me. Shit. Wow.
Glad I get to hear
Everyone's
that.
gonna love that.
Hard Mountain Dew, live wire, zero sugar. Let's go. Let's talk about the man pockets.
What?
This
The
Pokemon.
man pockets, yeah.
Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I was so concerned and confused.
Yeah, the news. Have you not heard about the man pockets? My God, they're everywhere.
I wouldn't know what to say anymore.
Dr. Disrespect got away with pedophilia, but the man pockets, we gotta watch out for him.
Okay, so are we ready to talk about the most fun game we've played on this podcast ever by far?
Now, give me 5 minutes. I might be ready.
What?
What? I said, I
So,
don't know. Give me 5 minutes. I might be ready.
before we get too deep into it, how many people beat this 11-hour game?
I
No.
didn't.
Just you.
Just me. Yeah.
Just you.
Yeah.
I think I might have made the second most progress though.
Probably.
Yeah, how many gyms did you beat?
2.
2 out of 8.
1.
I'm proud of you. Good job.
I fought the grass people like 3 times each, and I stopped.
Cool. I did the whole game. I stole the legendary cards. They're mine. And
They
I'm better
actually
than all
stole
of you.
themselves.
So, this Pokemon game is the card game on the Game Boy Color.
Yes.
It's rough.
It's the normal card.
Uh,
I think it's not got all the concessions that the mobile game has. Like none
The
of
general story, because there's a story to this one, is you are obsessed with the Pokemon card game. You love it to bits. And
Yeah,
a
that's
weird
like the little
professor
intro.
man, a weird professor man who I don't know why he's a professor of Pokemon card battling.
It's also
Lets
not
you-
named after a tree.
He's Professor
Yes.
Mason. What do the numbers mean? He'll tell you what the numbers mean. They'll mean you're bad at Pokemon.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so he presents you with 3 decks after giving you a tutorial where you have to do exactly what he tells you to do, or else. Then you get shit out into the world. You get to pick any of the gyms except the fighting gym and the psychic gym. Because the psychic gym leader just stands in a corner mumbling to himself until you make a certain amount of progress. And the fighting gym guy said, haha, the losers you have to beat before you get to me are scattered into the other gyms. Good luck, fucker.
I'm so glad I stopped playing this game. That sounds
You-
terrible.
It's not really that bad. They're just randomly in the waiting rooms of a couple of the other gyms. You beat them in card battles, and then they go back, and then you get to fight him. Yeah, so you go around, you do the 8. What it is there's you got to get the 8 badges, basically, or coins, to prove that you're worthy for the legendary Pokemon cards. Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, and a level 41 Dragonite. I don't know why that's a legendary, but it is.
Have some birds in this dragon I found.
It's weird because like Dragonite was kind of supposed to be a legendary, I think, when they were first I think in like development, but he ended up being just a normal, well, albeit rare Pokemon.
Yeah, why wasn't it Mewtwo?
That's a good point. Yeah, could have been
Or
Mewtwo, Mew.
Lugia, I guess. I mean, I know Lugia was Gen 2, but like he showed up in the Gen 1 movie, so he was around during the card sets.
What time period? What time period was this game made?
I mean, it was after the first Pokemon game.
Late 90s?
Yeah. So if it's like
Either way.
90s, then Gen 2 might have even been almost out.
Yeah, so There's not much like else story wise. If you've played the TCG Pocket game, it's like that, but also more complicated because it's got all the original rules. 60 card deck, actual energy in the deck. A lot of the card effects are just evil. Professor
Mhm.
Oak is not Pot of Greed. That's Bill who's Pot of Greed. Professor Oak is throw away your whole hand and draw a new hand.
Which is
Anyway,
sometimes useful.
because there's not a whole lot story wise to talk about, I'm just gonna go through my notes. I picked Squirtle, the water deck, and I beat the whole game with just the water deck. Never made a new deck, just got rid of all the non-water type cards except for Eevee and put in a bunch of water type cards. So my notes title is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Gathering.
Oh, I forgot a funny name.
Wow,
I didn't have a funny
you couldn't beat the game and you couldn't even come up with a funny title.
I have notes. I just didn't make a funny name.
I'm
Well,
disappointed.
think of one now.
Okay.
No one, you haven't
Well,
started?
I'm
In my
thinking.
notes, it's titled as Pokemon TCG Pocket. So
I'm disappointed. Okay, so
So,
Let's-
I just titled it the name of the new game.
so I pulled Man Pockets out because that's what my notes are. However, fun fact, I quit so fast I don't have a single note. I just have the file called Man Pockets.
that's sad.
There you go.
Okay. Let's go over my notes as soon as the keyboard stops.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I do
Why
that
is
too,
there-
but you can't hear my keyboard.
Why is there a Pokemon professor in a world where Pokemon is just a card game? Water starter deck. Let's go. Starter deck is built like complete ass. Why do I have fighting and psychic Pokemon in my water deck? Did
Good
some
psychic
grinding.
types?
Yeah.
Damn, all I got was I had fire, electric, and fighting types.
Yeah, it had water
Also, I want to bring
fighting
up I had
psychic.
fucking Zapdos in my. I chose the Charmander deck. I had fucking Zapdos. That's like my
Congratulations.
only note is that Zapdos was in my starting deck.
I had
What?
leaf, fire, and water.
I did some grinding and now have have an all water deck. Sweet. Who needs an ace when I have Vaporeon? Not like that, you fucking perverts. Seriously though, sick ass power cards. Blastoise, Kingler, Poliwrath. I'm a better swimmer than the water leader. Fire leader fizzled out.
Blastoise.
Forgot I had a rival. Hi, Ronald. Ronald sucks ass at Pokemon cards. Dude promised me a rare card and gave me a terrible Jigglypuff. Oh well. Second dude in the rock gym starts off with a shelter. Bro, are you sure you're in the right gym? Even rock crumbles to my waves. Random dude demanded all my energy I wasn't using. Put all but one energy in the deck. He was fine with just one, I guess. He gave me a promo Slowpoke. Can't find the third fighting gym guy. Psychic leader stands in the corner and won't battle me. Lame. Overwatered the grass gym. Psy gym leader let me challenge its or Psy gym finally let me challenge its leader. His strat is garbage. He's a coward. Even cowards can't survive the ocean, though. The science gym still couldn't
Cowards
understand the depths of the sea. Even electricity stands no chance against the great tidal wave that is my deck. Seriously, first try. Dude only confirmed 2 KOs. One of those was with self-destruct.
Lamau.
Beat the Elite Four. Fire Lady was a pushover. Electric Guy couldn't handle Poliwrath. Ice Guy sunk under the power of Dugong. Dragon Dude couldn't beat Blastoise. Of course Ronald is back. He almost milled his whole deck between scooping Moltres and fetching with Kangaskhan. He lost to Sea King. Brother lost to a monotype water deck. The legendary cards packed up and left Ronald, literally disappeared from his deck to join me. At the end of the day, my true champion cards were Poliwrath, Vaporeon, Dugong, and Blastoise.
Did you get like a Hall of Fame screen with all your cards behind you?
You would think. No, you get no Hall of Fame thing. You go into the Hall of Fame like he's like, yeah, step into the Hall of Fame. The legendary cards are like, hey man, you are worthy to us, but just know having us doesn't make you worthy. To be worthy, you have to love challenges and you have to love the Pokemon card game with all your heart.
Oh,
You have to
And then
love
it rolls
me.
credits. That's it.
Love me.
that's all it takes.
The real Pokemon card game was the friends we made along the way.
The real
So-
Pokemon card game is an app on your phone.
So who's
I gave
next
my
on
notes
our
a funny name. That's what I was typing.
Okay, what's your funny name?
Pocket Monsters Sharing Paper Tournament.
All right.
I'll
Yeah, that
take it.
works.
I'll take it.
Pockets.
It's a little rushed, but what do you got for notes?
It's rushed. I wrote it 5 minutes ago. I got God, this UI is trash. Some
Yeah, I
of the
was
card
complaining with
art
the
is
UI too.
cool. Leaf was apparently the worst starting deck.
Nope. Can't confirm.
I love having 3 energy types in my starting deck.
Yep, can't
And
confirm.
energy
Right.
removal can suck my balls.
Can't confirm.
That right?
There's too much grind to get energy in the early game.
Can't confirm.
Not really.
I've beaten the rock and water bosses,
Nice.
and the last note was there's a lot of grind for a Game Boy game.
I mean, the Game Boy games were grindy, but honestly, you only had to beat 1 or 2 trainers from like your matching type gym 2, maybe 3 times.
I had to beat those Leaf girls like 2 or 3 times each.
Why? You get 2 grass energy out of them each time. You should only
I also
need
was
like
trying to get
6
more
more
grass
grass
cards in general.
energy. You'll get more of those from anywhere else, but it's just the energies you needed to do the little bit of grind for. Once I did my energy grind, I never battled a trainer twice.
Good for
I mean,
you.
it still sucks.
Not if you enjoy the Pokemon card game.
I like the card game. I just don't like the way this game did it.
I mean, clearly you don't, because this game follows the rules of the card game.
The
Do
card...
I have to input so many buttons to do simple things?
No, that's my problem. Yeah, it's the same card game. When I need to check my card, do I need to pull up a menu and then go 3 layers into that menu to figure out what an attack does, or can I just look at
What do
the
you mean?
fucking card?
It's just check what's in play, and there's your cards.
No,
That's
check.
still
There's like
admittedly-
4
that's
more.
still
There's 4
2.
options there. One of them's cards in play. Then you got to click on the card you want to look at.
There are some things that are a little unintuitive, like when I'm assigning an energy to a card, I can't like a good way of putting this. When I'm putting an item on a Pokemon, I can open their summary to see if that item will be good for them. I can't do that here. I have to check the moves of all of my Pokemon prior to putting an energy on them, because I have to be sure that they actually are going to benefit from that energy. And if they aren't, well, tough shitty.
I think that's just a skill issue. Know your energy, man. Look, I know for a fact Krabby, 2 energy to get off the ground. Sea King, 1 energy to get off the ground. 2 if I want it to be powerful.
Well, see, if when I
Dugong,
was just
4
starting out, this was a problem. Now it isn't really, but it's like when I
It
was
takes
first
Krabby
starting.
2 to get off.
Yeah, it does.
It takes Krabby 2 to get off.
3 if you want to evolve it into Kingler and get Crab Hammer.
Oh, everybody wants that crab hammer.
It's 40 damage, man. Hard to beat.
So Dusty didn't have any notes.
No, I
Love,
have
did you
nothing
have
to add to
any
this
notes?
conversation besides the fact that it's Menu the game. Pokemon Menu Simulator.
Yeah, it's all menu.
It's all menus. And it takes away the fun of the game.
It's okay, guys. My next plan is the Japanese exclusive sequel.
Ugh. Is it at least
I'm
translated by someone?
Yeah, there's a fan translation. It takes place 5 minutes after the end of the first game, so none of you will know what's going on. It'll
Is
be
it
great.
still on the Game Boy Color, or is it on
Yeah.
the... Oh, it's still going to be ugly, and it's still going to have the horrible menus.
Damn.
Uh,
And
Why did
nobody
we
has a
give-
note besides
No.
you.
Nobody else has a no, unfortunate.
don't worry. I'm only joking. I would never willingly
Theoretically.
put you guys through torment unless I thought it would be something I would enjoy.
Do you not think you'd enjoy the sequel?
No, I know I would. I have it on my phone. That's the thing. I, unlike you guys, am good at the Pokemon card game. So I win.
The card game itself is fine. I'm just tired of hitting extra buttons to do something simple.
No, it's easy.
And
Yeah.
holding the space bar is mandatory for half the game.
Yes.
It's not mandatory for half the game.
You can't say that when you did that.
I
to play
used it
against
for
all
the
the trainers.
I used it for the grind, and then
So
as
they
soon
did.
as I was done with those fights, I
You
fought
had
the gym.
your clock was like at 1,000 hours.
My clock was at 140 hours. Thank you
Still.
very much.
Yeah. You,
Yeah, well,
you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
No,
I'm
what?
just saying it could have been worse. It could have been
Um,
Duel Masters.
Well,
I
hey,
probably would have had more fun with
Duel
Masters.
Masters would look better because it's on the Game Boy Advanced.
Well, it makes
Or are
me
you
think
talking
of.
about the PS2 one?
No, I'm not talking about the PS2.
I remember there
one.
was a Yu-Gi-Oh
I-
game that I played on the DS
You
back
hear,
when
you
I was
hear
a
this
kid.
thing I'm clanking? This is my copy of Duel Masters on the Game Boy Advanced.
Yeah, it's so good it's a bottle opener.
Yeah, I used it as a bottle opener because I found it for 99 cents. But I
Oh
like
my
Duel
gosh.
Masters, and I guarantee it's better than this. I don't even know what this game looks like, but it's going to be in color, which is a good
Hey,
thing.
this game was in color.
Like
The colors
3
were just black
colors.
and white.
Yeah,
It wasn't black and
it's
white.
in
It was
color.
in color.
colors.
It's in it's
Or-
Was it?
you know it's in
Oh, I guess it
Everything
was.
had colors.
It is in color. I'm just being an ass.
It
But
was
still,
just a really low, like small
Contrast.
color palette
yeah.
because it was on the Game Boy Color.
Well, hey, well, the colors in its name. Maybe we should pop those colors. Maybe we should use more of them.
They didn't know what colors were back then.
No,
They dreamed in black and white.
Ugh.
orange hadn't been invented yet. They hadn't planted the orange tree.
Yeah. This game was made before the Ark.
I unironically want to recommend Duel Masters for PS2 though. I like that game.
Well, you guys are making me want to recommend the GeForce game for the DS. So
I remember liking the game, I should say. If we decide that we can allow IP games, fucking we're playing Cars and Wally.
dude, honestly, Cars for like the what was the Wii?
PS2, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, honestly, I'd be down. I'd play Cars on the Wii.
I don't have a Wii.
I mean, it's on the PS. It's also on the PS2. You could emulate that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the Xbox 360.
I
as well,
own it,
think.
and I have hours in that game.
I had hours. In
It's fucking. It's got
I had
upright
that.
music and everything.
I had that game on the Game Boy, and it was probably totally different than the one.
It
you
is the
played.
one on PS2 and the Wii is an actual open world game.
No, this
Yes.
is just a racing game with top down.
Yeah, if you wanted to go tractor tipping with Mater, you had to know where it is on the map, drive on the map. It's the full-on city and area laid out.
The Barnyard game was the same way, I think.
Yeah.
It was
you
like
wanted-
open world.
If you wanted to go to the track that him
you wanted
and
to-
Doc practiced on, you had to know where on the map it was, and you drove there.
If you wanted to troll the mailman, you had to go to the mailbox.
Could you only be Lightning McQueen, or could you be any other one else?
I think you could be anyone else, but you had to like work to try and unlock them.
Yes, it's one of those. The main campaign you're playing as Lightning, but I believe you can play as other people.
And
I-
they even had different skins for
Yeah,
him.
I know in the mini games you play as that person in the mini game. So when you play or tractor tipping, you're Mater.
I remember me and my sister racing each other in the Cars game.
They made
It was
file
multiplayer, I
sharing
think.
easier in this, guys.
What?
Yeah.
I shared a file.
What?
Download it here.
No, I don't think I will.
Oh, you should. You should.
It's 68,566 bytes.
That's 67 kilobytes.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do I?
Okay, I'm saving it. What's gonna happen?
It's a JPEG.
Save.
It is a JPEG.
Oh, it's Duel Master from the Game Boy.
Photos.
Look
Edit
at
your
the little
images
man with the
AI.
hair.
The fuck off my screen.
Yo,
Delete this file.
look
yes.
at that shit! Oh my
There's
god,
nothing to show here.
it's
Oh.
got the shields and everything. Yeah, let's go. See, this is my Pokemon when I was a kid.
I want-
Duel
when-
Masters.
I played. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh game I played on the DS. I don't remember what game it was, but I remember very vividly
there was a part where they're trying to teach you how to play the game, and you have decks you can choose from, and like you can basically you like rent precon decks to fight somebody else who's also using a precon, because it's like teaching you different ways of playing Yu-Gi-Oh. That was my favorite, and I remember always losing but having fun anyway.
Duel Masters.
It's kind of like imagine if the freaking like if you were playing MTG Arena and they're like, all right, that's fun, but here like there's this like dojo place where you can learn how to play um like Magic, but there are like 5 different people down there. We're not going to tell you which specific one is teaching you how to play normal Magic. You're probably never going to play these different game modes that are down there, but there are like 4 people down there that'll teach you how to play different game modes from what the actual game is.
So what's funny is I grew up with Duel Masters, right? I'm looking at the screenshot. I don't know what those 3 monsters are supposed to be. I don't recognize them. The texture or the texture,
They're the Phantom of Liberty.
the pixel art is so like bad
Yeah.
that I can't actually I can't tell. I can see what the shields are supposed to be. I can see the shields. That guy's got 2 lives left. Poor guy. You're supposed to have 8. He's got 2. But yeah, I don't know what those monsters are. When I was a kid, I really liked the black decks because the creatures were kind of horrifying on the PS2, and that was sick. That was cool.
Who's playing with something?
Who's
You.
hacky sacking in the corner?
Sorry.
Sounds like
I'm kicking a piece of cardboard around.
I got the kicking correct with the hacky sack. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is a little piece of cardboard.
I don't.
Sorry about that.
I don't know if there's much else to say about Pokémon
I really don't know. I think the only interesting thing I could tell you is that if you choose Charmander in this game, you might be like me getting Zapdos in your starting deck. Cannot wrap my head around that. Yeah, sure. Here you go, 11-year-old child. Here's Zapdos.
But like the weak one.
I don't care if it's the weak one. It's still fucking Zapdos.
Yeah, I think it's time to rate.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna take one more little side quest.
I don't know if I could.
Side quest.
Yeah, we gotta do a thing. We got a thing.
Before or after I announce which game.
Before. We'll do it between you announcing and this.
Okay.
Yeah. We always end on the new game so we can bitch and moan about the game and end on the
Become tradition.
Pokemon. Does Pokemon have more bad games than good games at this point?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I think it's the opposite.
It seems like every single time I interact with everyone's like, well, it's a bad one. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, you've had very few interactions, though.
Pokemon TCG Pocket is great.
Yeah.
Pokemon Leaf Green I remember it being great. That was the only one I actually played.
It's good because
Violet.
It's good just because of all the good things it did for actual Pokemon Red and Blue.
I have a dungeon one. I haven't played it yet. I thought about maybe saving it for the podcast at one point.
Mystery Dungeon.
Mystery Dungeon.
I own one of them.
Which one?
The one on. We have this conversation every 3 months. I swear to God.
Did we?
Yes. Every single time I bring it up, you're like, "Which one?" I'm like, "The one on the Switch." I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Oh, DX.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never played any of those on the Switch.
Yeah, I found it on sale on Black Friday. I was like, I know a lot of people who like the Mystery Dungeon games. I'll buy this and maybe give it a try. And now that with this podcast is going, I'm like, I'll save it for that.
You should.
I'm willing to try Pokemon. but I keep being told to play the shitty old ones. Alright.
You should play Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
All right, let's rate this game.
Who's going first?
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Cool. What do I have rated in 5s?
5s.
I think the season reset, so that
yeah,
doesn't matter.
we reset. So
Oh yeah.
the only thing you've rated is Dragon Age, which you rated at a 6.5. So is this better or worse than Dragon Age? That's your starting position.
Boy, howdy, that is a rough starting position. So the rating on this one might shift later because here's the thing, right? With Dragon Age, I could see the potential of something that I would enjoy, but I didn't get to play it. With Pokemon TCG on the Game Boy Color, it was a really fun, relaxing experience for me, except for a couple of gyms. I had a ton of fun playing it. I recognize it's an old game. It's not a great game. I'm gonna say overall, what did I rate Dragon Age?
6.5.
6.5. I'm gonna give this game a solid 5.
Oh, thank God. I was going to yell at you if you put it higher.
Why would I put it higher?
I don't. You're a
this is
weird
a
person.
This is a Game Boy Color game that I beat in 11 hours, casually playing on my laptop in my bed.
It's his prerogative, honestly. If he wants to rate it higher, he can.
Listen,
No.
there was that moment where I was like, but you enjoyed it and you got to play it, so you could rate it higher than the game that you didn't get to play and might have enjoyed. Like, that's a perfectly reasonable use of logic. So I was like, if this is higher, I'm gonna be upset.
My logic, like, here's the thing. As a Game Boy Color game, it's fine. It has aged poorly. If you don't have a brain that's weird like mine, it could be awkward to play. For me, I think at about 300 times the speed the game moves. As Lad can attest from the one time he saw me playing,
Yes.
I can flip through all of that stuff with muscle memory alone, practically. However, if you're not me, it's probably not the most fun experience, and there are better things out there now. So I could not, in good conscience, rate it higher than a game that was considered story-wise and character development-wise to be a turning point in RPGs.
Before we continue rating, would you like to guess? Because I never had a Game Boy Color. I only had an original, and then my next Nintendo console was a Switch. So, my neighbor would let me borrow his once in a while, and I'd be able to play one of his games. And by that I mean literally one of his games, because it was the only one that looked interesting to me. Can you guess what game I played on my neighbor's Game Boy Color? He had the purple one, by the way.
That's a cool one. I'm assuming it wasn't Quarth.
No.
Damn.
Tetris.
No.
Is there a car game?
Is it a movie tie-in?
No.
Was that what question was that no to?
Both.
Oh.
It worked for both.
Is it gay?
It's fancy.
Was it a platformer?
I don't remember.
Was it?
I just remember the game. I will tell you that I remember the main character rode around on a skateboard. I know what
Tony
game
Hawk?
it is. What?
Was it Tony Hawk?
No.
No, Tony Hawk was Game Boy Advanced.
I don't know.
That's a game I could make us play. Kidding. Yeah, I've got no idea.
Lego,
I had two. Good.
It was Lego Island 2: The Brickster's Revenge.
I didn't know that came out on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
I thought that was a PC only game.
No, Lego Island 2 was right in the middle. It's also on Game Boy Advanced. Like, it's right at the end of the Game Boy Color, but my neighbor had it on the Color.
Yeah. I only had 2 games for my Game Boy Color growing up. That was Pokemon Blue. Or no, I had 3 because I had the TCG. I had Pokemon Blue, I had the TCG, and I had Quarth,
On my
which is still popular in Japan, by the way. So you can't even call me weird.
on my I found an original Game Boy at a garage sale. It was translucent, just white, kind of like a bunch of the Game Boy Color cartridges.
Oops.
And I had Tetris and some F1 game on it, and I played that thing for like a week, and then the screen died.
Yeah.
And I did change the batteries. This wasn't little kid me being dumb. The screen actually died. Like the speaker worked, the screen did not. Just it was in a garage sale for a reason.
Man,
All right.
I miss being a small child with the Game Boy Advanced.
That's me with the PSP. I just miss being a child with a PSP. Fancy.
I just miss simpler times.
What?
Rate
Oh,
What do
my
you
rating?
rate the
Yeah.
game?
I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5.
That scared me. That
What did you think I was gonna say?
I'm gonna give it a solid 6.
No.
Well, it's
Okay.
because of solid. I thought I
No.
was just gonna go. I'm gonna give it a 6. I was like, no.
It
and then
would have
became
been
a solid.
so funny to me if Lad rated it higher than me.
No. No.
The reason why that scared me is, like I said, I thought the word solid was just gonna be 6. You rated Dragon Age at a 5.5. So again, I was like, no.
I would have beat the water gym the first time had she not removed 8 energy from my card. And that in that same game, she oaked herself twice.
Eelayne, what would you rate Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy Color?
So I'm a bit of a card game nerd. I love card games.
Get the heart
I
of the
play a
cards.
lot of Magic the Gathering, and I learned through this game that the Pokemon TCG maybe not for me in a tabletop setting. 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna give this game a 2.
An absolute banger
An absolute
choice.
You know,
Listen, I really wanted to give it a 1, but I could not because the game functions. It is playable. It works. It is a game.
it is a fun and enjoyable casual experience.
I don't know about that.
It's mostly the grind that was not very fun.
Was it a casual experience? Yes. Fun and enjoyable?
I beat the
Also,
whole
sorry
thing.
if you're hearing
Good
things.
for you.
I have a cat that's trying to cuddle with me and the microphone. So
What just happened there was drugs, they sound fun, but they can do a lot of bad. I took cocaine.
there's a god inside
Just
your
said-
head.
I beat the whole thing. It's like, good for you. I think we're all better off not. I think you're
No.
the loser here.
Your life would have been made better by getting to witness that speech at the end of the game.
Ow, Gretel, why?
It
Where
would have
Ronald loses the
solved all
birds.
your
It
problems.
would have solved every problem, yeah.
That
So, what's the average?
3.875.
That's almost
That's-
pie.
Almost,
Wait.
in the fact that it isn't.
No, wait, I got pie. I got the numbers of pie backwards.
This is like for a number to be close to pi, shouldn't it at least start with a 4?
Wait, what? You said start with a pie doesn't start with a 4.
Oh no.
Just showing this is just
Oh.
cut to black. Just cut to black.
We're so
I was at least correct with it being 3.
Listen. You are correct. I'm an idiot. I went meta.
3.145.
Yeah, which is-
you missed a 1,
You
love.
missed a 1.
I did.
3.14159. Thank you very much.
I think
Anything after that doesn't matter.
I think all of us should not comment on math unless Excel gave it to me and we just go with what it said. 3.75. Let's leave the math at that.
Brain
What number
hurty.
does pi start with? What numbers are in pi? None of us clearly know.
I got the first 3 right. That's the important bits.
I took it too literally. I was like, pi. The P is a 4, right? that's where my mind went. That's why I made that mistake. I forgot pi's backwards.
God,
Stupid.
this entire last half has made me genuinely want to kill myself.
All right.
I'm joking.
Before
by the
we
way, for
get the
anybody that
next
needs to know.
recommendation, we're going to do a little update on Fantasy Critic.
Oh yeah, I forgot to challenge you.
Your points went up again by 1.
Oh,
The
cool.
more people rated the game, and the average went up by 1. It is so. You're the only person with points. Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter with a 79 rating now. So you got 9 points.
Nice.
Should we update on all the of the games by name, since
They're not.
this is all insider
I
information?
think that's the only one out right now.
That's the
But
only
we also had a couple changes.
yes,
I
but
think for
yes, but if someone really wants, they can. They this is all public. You can just see this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if they want to, they can. If they really want to, they can find it. It's literally just called Collecting Dust Season 2. That's the name. Like it's very easy to search and find. So yeah, that's the update. The first game has been rated. Also, the other update is the very first bid happened, and it was me. I got the game Splitgate 2. No one else wanted it, so I paid 25, $30 for it. $30 for it out of my 100.
Yeah, I forgot to contest you.
I did too.
I told you like twice.
You did.
I know
And then
you
I-
did, but
you
then I
forgot.
didn't do it.
Well,
It's fine. I didn't want it anyway.
Stinky.
so now my strategy is just gonna be I'm not gonna tell you when I'm doing it. I'm just
What?
gonna check every week.
Yeah, I mean that's genuinely that's how you would win against me.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
that's no
very
fun.
bright.
That's mean. So anyway, that's the updates. We have a score, and I'm the first person to have bought a game, so I'm up to 6 games. I have Splitgate 2 now. All of my games are just games I'm mostly excited for. I have a bunch of shooters. Big work. Let's go. Let's go. So that's it. I just wanted to, since there were updates on that, I thought we'd get in this episode. Fancy.
Interesting.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Get us out of here. I never want to think of Pokemon again. What game are we playing?
So my
Boy,
choice
yeah, you're gonna be
depends
real
on
disappointed in about a month.
depends on
Yeah.
something.
Depends on
I
something.
have 2 in mind.
Okay.
One would need to be purchased if you don't already own it, and the other would be totally legally emulated. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Emulated from what?
How much is this game?
I believe I looked on Steam and it was 25.
So the real question then is, do you know if I own it already? And
I
if
don't.
not, are you willing to buy it for 2 extra people?
we have some
Because-
jobless people in this podcast right now. That's
Yeah.
why I'm thinking of
Unfortunately.
emulation a lot right now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that
Or a game
I mean,
like
again, if you're
If
willing
you-
to buy it, I'll play it. It's just I currently don't have
I
an
don't know if you
The
already own it or
possibility
not.
of us also owning
you
it.
just say the game.
Yeah, what's the game?
Yeah, let's get
Neon White.
Neon
What?
White?
Yeah.
Neon White.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've
I might
already
have that on
played
PlayStation.
that.
I fucking own that game.
I might own
Okay,
it. Let
well,
me
if
check.
you all already have it, then I'm picking that one.
I want to check real quick. I'm booting up my PlayStation to check.
I know Kane has it because they streamed it.
Yeah.
I
2 or 3
own
times.
it because it was on sale and I've always wanted to play it.
I can just look at the Steam page. It should tell me who owns it.
That's a good point.
I don't have it on Steam, but I have it on PlayStation. 2 friends already own this game, both of you.
Yeah. So it's just Eelayne that we're waiting on.
I don't have it, unfortunately.
Oh.
So you'd have to buy it.
Are you
for her.
willing to buy it once?
Yeah.
Well then,
I don't know
Alright.
how to buy it on PlayStation. I can gift it to you
We
on
could
Steam.
do the Steam. Yeah, we could do Steam instead.
cool.
Okay.
So Neon White. I'm excited.
I've heard great things about this game, and I kind of wanted an excuse to play it, so
It'll be cool to get
this is
back
my
into
excuse.
On-
it. I've been meaning to pop back into it.
What type of game even is it?
Shooter.
It's a
Movement shooter.
card-based shooter. Fuck.
Speed run.
It's a movement shooter.
Movement
Yeah.
shooter.
Card
Yeah.
elements.
Isn't
Okay,
it
so
also
it's-
like slightly the smallest of? God, why am I forgetting the genre? Shit, the one where you read
Yeah.
Movement shooter.
reading.
What?
Visual novel.
Visual
Yeah.
novel?
Isn't it like lightly a visual novel as well?
There are some
Kind
visual
of.
novel elements to it.
So it's kind of like if we took Friends versus Friends and made it a movement speed shooter.
Um,
I mean, in the fact that it's a shooter, and
if
And
you
then
took
we're
Goodbye
imagining the rest,
Volcano
yes.
High,
Oh, I've never played that game either.
that's on my list.
it's like Angels with Scaly Wings, but less intense.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye Volcano High is imagine BoJack Horseman, but as a teen drama video game, and then imagine that being a shooter, card-based movements. that's
Oh,
the.
That's how I'm
Describing
going to
that is
describe
pretty hard.
visual novels from now on. Imagine BoJack Horseman, but it's like this.
Well, so the reason I said BoJack Horseman is that's like the art style.
Yeah.
Like it actually, like, I didn't just pull BoJack Horseman out of my ass. I promise.
I mean,
I know a lot of people didn't like Goodbye Volcano.
yeah, I haven't actually heard a whole lot about it.
Okay, I send it to you.
Sweet.
In my library now.
The
I'm gonna
thing
download it as soon as the podcast ends.
the biggest thing I know about it is that there's
Asks.
Goodbye Volcano High has some really funny moments with its art.
Oh, I didn't
Like there's
know.
some very clearly like, oh, that character is supposed to be, like the art ends because it's supposed to be cut off the screen, but it's too far up, so you can just see their legs end as they slide across the screen. That kind of thing. It's like, oh no, oh no. Like I know there's a bunch of that kind of shit going on with it. Other than that, I don't know much about it. I just remember seeing a video when it first came out, like, look at all this hilarious art shit going on.
I didn't know Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was out already.
Yeah, it came out like 2 days ago.
It was yesterday, I guess. 4th.
That's 2 days ago or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's very much in the or something like that category.
It was just like 5, 4, 1, 3.
Uh-huh. And on that bombshell.
Are you gonna punch me? Am I the producer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Get ready to get punched to the internet.
Oh no. You're gonna have to go to Amazon now. I'm so sorry. All right. See you later.
Adios.
Bye-bye.